It is also 1,000 times better to remain single than get married and be so single again. The fear of what will happen in marriage has made many people decide to stay single, unlike our parents who were told to remain in their marriage no matter how their partner treats them, has made most children grow up in homes where they saw their mother or father being beaten, and for those who are not lucky, they have lost a parent in the hands of another. So how do you tell someone who has lived under such conditions that marriage is a beautiful thing? How do you take away the emotional trauma completely? The best you can do is help them live with these and learn how to manage their pain, because trust me, it never completely goes away. In those days, even if you were coming out from such a home, you will still be made to get married, but not in this generation. Many singles have made up their minds to remain single, then get married to someone who might take their life more miserable. I am not saying that all marriages are like this. No. We have beautiful marriages, but how do you convince someone with the increase in the divorce rate? The reason why there are more single people in this generation is that they are scared of the unknown, and so they prefer to remain single. And I'm sure that compared to those days, you cannot force someone against their will. This generation is wiser. More so, we have more single people in this generation because of the increased level of fornication. Truth be told, if only God has not promised not to destroy the world again, He would have done so, because we are worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. We are a generation that we no longer care about the consequences of our actions. We pretend to be serving God, but we all know that it is all hypocrisy, serving the Lord with our lips and not with our hearts. Fornication that was a secret sin has become something that singles are proud to be participating in it. Something that was meant to be enjoyed in marriage is now enjoyed by everyone. So tell me, how do you expect them to be married? At least in those days, our parents get married because they have gotten to the point that could no longer hold themselves, and the issue of virginity was taken seriously. But these days, no one cares. Television stations, magazines, newspapers are all encouraging sex before marriage. Being single allows you to sleep with different partners, and this generation tags it as an achievement rather than a sin. If only we could go back to the old-time religion, where people were scared of committing fornication, where people truly worship God from the depths of their hearts and not just lip service, then just maybe we will have the number of single people reduced in this generation. Furthermore, we have more single people in this generation because people prefer their freedom than to be caged in a marriage. We all know that when you have married, a certain level of responsibility is expected from you. When you are also married, you are no longer one, but two joined together as one. This means as a couple, you are accountable to each other. You cannot make decisions on your own without consulting your partner. If you want to live in a happy home, but the problem here is people of this generation don't like to feel that need to ask for permission before doing anything. They want to do what they want at the time they want, without consulting anybody. They want to have the freedom of enjoying their life, even when it's late, without bothering if there is a family they need to come back to. You also hear people say they don't want to get married because of the responsibility of taking care of the home. I mean, like the man, you need to provide for the family, and as the woman takes care of the home, which includes cooking, cleaning, and all other domestic work. This generation loves their freedom so much that they prefer to remain single than married. And unlike the former generation, that doing all these things makes them feel proud. It gives them a direction and a focus on what they should be doing with their life. You have more singles in this generation because they have found a new meaning to life than family and all the stress that comes along with it. A person might only be willing to get married when you can offer a life of luxury. I know that marriage is not the most important on planet Earth or your purpose on Earth, but I believe a marriage is a beautiful thing, and when you are married to the right person, it doesn't stop you from living the life you wanted to live. It all depends on how you want to live it. Lastly, we have more singles in this generation because those who are willing to get married are scared. With all these reasons that I have told you, you must agree with me that almost every single has a reason as to why they are not married or willing to get married. These reasons have made those who are willing to get married find it difficult to meet someone willing to get married. I must say this because it is also important. We have more singles in this generation because almost everyone is in search of Miss Perfect or Mr. Perfect. Our standard of measurement is no longer guided by the principles of God for choosing a partner. Rather, we are all after our definition of spouse. Unlike the generation of our forefathers, where getting married was based on God's principles. They seek the face of God when picking a partner, and whatever He gives, they take without complaining. Character and not beauty was the quality of a good man or good woman, and not their makeup or dressing. Availability of a source of income to provide immediate needs was what qualifies a man to marry, and not now that the ladies expect you to own a mansion. Beloved, you must get me right and not misquote me. To want all the good things of life is important, but most of us have made it a priority, and we choose to remain single until we get what we want. Both men and women prefer to be jumping from one bed to another in the name of gathering riches. Your soul is more important than wealth. Now, when you have people who have made up their minds not to be married due to one reason or another, how do you expect this generation to have more married people? The number of those willing to get married is scarce, and until we return to Christ, we are still going to remain the way we are. My beloved single, if you are still unmarried because of any of the reasons, I pray that the Lord speaks to your heart and gives you a new reason. No marriage is perfect, but with God, all this is possible. Even though the Bible has said that there will come a time when a man is going to be entitled to 7 women, it's not going to be you. Stay blessed. In our present generation, where the number of single people is more than that of those who are married, it is only normal that people ask this question. We are a generation that is very much interested in weddings, but not in marriage. I know you want to ask me what is different between these two things. A wedding is just one day the celebration occurs, and the marriage is a lifetime commitment. A commitment to stay with one woman or man for the rest of your life. Getting wedded is not the problem, but staying married has become one of the greatest problems and reasons why we have more singles in this generation. In the 80s and 90s, I guess our parents were told different. They were made to believe that being married is what makes you a complete man or woman. They were also told to see their marriage as a must, no matter what happens in it. Coming out or refusing to get married is not an option. But in this generation, I can boldly tell you we see life differently. Our eyes have been opened to the fact that you do not need marriage to make you feel complete. Marriage is no longer a must, but a choice. Unlike those days, our parents so much believe in that school of thought that when a person is not married, then he or she must have something wrong with them, or they have been cursed. In those days, a woman might not be recognized in certain places because she was single, but that is no longer the case in this generation. So tell me, how do you expect people to get married in this generation when I can be anything I want to be without needing someone to complete me? That is why we have more single people in this generation. Also, we have more single people in this generation because of the fear of marriage. The number of failed marriages or people dying because of domestic violence has made many singles decide to stay single, then married. At least an alive single is 1,000 times better than a dead married person.